Good evening. Takes a while before people see come up. Okay. Yeah. Here I am. I think. Yes, I am. Hello. Okay, there we are. I'm going to do some work on the sky. So if you want to ask me some question about what colors I use in the sky or anything, happy to tell you. If you see this in hindsight, there's probably nobody looking at right now. If you see this in hindsight, please give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you want to support my channel, you can do that by buying me coffee or coming to my PATRON, or if you are watching, you can of course give a super chat if you like to do that. So, but that is probably for another one since you're not here already. So yeah, I'm just gonna do some stuff while I wait for people to join. It doesn't really matter that much. I will just stream anyway. But it's nice that people come in here and ask some questions. Because it kind of makes it easier for me to talk and communicate and stuff. But of course, I can't force people. Sadly, I can't force people to join. So, I'm kind of watching myself. That's okay too. Somebody has to do it. I guess. You see. Is there a sound? Communicate. Yes, there is sound. Well, of course, I can't force people. Sadly, I can't force people to join. So I'm just going to go and do some stuff over here. So. Is there a sound? Communicate. Yes, there is sound. Well, of course, I can't force people. Sadly, I can't force people to join. So, here I am. Somebody want to join the conversation? Please do. I'll stand here. How does it look? I'll stand in the way. Try not to sound. So, I hear myself talk. So good. Okay, where am I? So, okay, 4 people, come in and say hello. If you wanna, maybe I should get my glasses. So I can actually the other day I had perfect vision. Then I ate some bread stuff or some corn and it turned to shit again. So why can't I plan this better? You know, where's my glasses? Okay, I found them. So, there we are. I just have to look over to see if there's anyone watching. Or actually joining, as it's called. What I'm doing today is just want to look at this in the mirror a little bit, because I think I did some drawing mistakes in clouds that annoys me, because now it kind of looks a little bit like this. There's maybe some small things that need to be fixed, and what I do is I think it's this here is a little bit too high, and yeah, I need some more blue and stuff. Blue. Also need some cobalt. All of this should have been done before I started, actually, I think. It would have been best, of course. But then again, that is how it is. I'm not the most focused person in the world. It's really annoying. Now I can't even find it. Jesus Christ. Everything is so almost like you feel that everything just works against you. Cobalt. Oh, okay. Cobalt blue deep. I guess that will do for now. Oh. Yeah, I'm still here. Found it. This is actually Winsor Newton, because I have some colors that I haven't been used of. I think the Winsor Newton is quite good, actually. It's a little bit more runny. So yeah, I actually saw it now. What's the problem? I think I painted 1, 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the problem. How could I do that? Because I didn't use my head. I didn't see properly. So important to see properly. Properly. I want to have to do like this. Now I have to go in with quite thick colors, because it's white here. Because it has this distinct shape that I really like. Hello, Amalia. I'm about to go to sleep. Okay, I understand. Having the screen as a background. You don't. Yeah, you can have it as a background. So when it rolls, that's my girlfriend popping in. Check out her. You see her in comments. Check out her channel. She's building a painting YouTube channel, so please check it out. Amalia Rusoltnes is her name. So I always post the link to her channel in description when it's done. I do that because she always pops in on my streams. Actually, I don't need the glasses. It's so annoying. I think it, you know, I had a discussion with my girlfriend the other day because I didn't eat bread. I only ate eggs and fish and meat and greens and stuff for a few days, and suddenly I didn't need glasses. I was just crazy. And I know I'm kind of gluten intolerant. But then I started eating these thin, crispy breads. I ate actually 10 of them in one day because I got stressed and I probably craved some carbs and stuff. And the day after, I almost couldn't see. And now I haven't been eating these things again, and now my eyesight is basically clearing up again. So I think it's I react to that bread, to bread, very violently. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. This was where I went wrong, totally wrong. So this where I went wrong. This here, let me see now. This is more like here. Like this, actually. Yeah, because I needed this. It's supposed to go up and down like this. I know, no, this is, I just made a video to the tutorial I'm making, and I saw that I was talking about what I usually do, the laws of nature, and every single cloud, every single thing that happens in this cloud is because of cause and effect and chaos. So, but it has a certain pattern. A cloud has a certain pattern. So you can't just have there's like waves in the sea. You can't have one wave suddenly going a totally different way. It has to move with all the other things that is moving. You can't just suddenly do something. You can't suddenly go out and be a total individualist, not affected by all the things that happen around it. And that is how you have to think when you paint clouds and paint things in nature, that it's what you're watching is cause and effect and chaos together, creating shapes and stuff. And it annoys me when I see that I kind of screwed up the drawing and it doesn't feel natural. So yeah. And that comes on top, of course, of the fact that I'm using a whole lot of color. So it's quite intense colors in my paintings, which makes them a little bit, maybe a little bit too much or unnatural or something. Kind of outgoing, extrovert. My paintings aren't introvert, that's for sure. Probably I have a secret expressionist. I know I do some kind of impressionism, but all painting is impressionism. You grab an impression or information, and then you just repeat the information. difficult to see. It's way too reddish now. I used basically too much red in it. So maybe I can save it with some cobalt. Maybe I should just take away some color. Like this. It came a little bit stuffed. Yeah, it became a little bit stuffed. Kind of unnatural. Yeah, look at that. It's the way I do it. Yeah, I need to do it the other way. It was a brushwork that did it. I do have problems with, I do change my light in the studio. I wish I could have a studio which was actually just one huge, this is of course one huge room, but it's, and it's high, quite high in here where I paint. But the lighting is getting a little bit too close or too strong or too vivid. So it's hard to control it. Let's see. This. Okay, somebody. Greetings. And Amalia, yeah. I think Amalia is going to sleep. She didn't sleep well last night. Hello. Hello. I don't really need my glasses when I paint. The problem is that the lighting here just sends so much reflection that I have problems seeing it. Maybe I should just go in and do some deeper color. Do that. Stand. Yeah, maybe that was it. It's also a lot of, it's almost like when I look at the painting, it's almost like I see different colors. Suddenly I see green, and then I turn away and I go back and I see cobalt, and then I see Prussian blue, and then I see some, it goes back and forth and back and forth, and it kind of drives me a little bit insane. A little bit more insane maybe. Yeah, that's great to say about me. Let's see here if I can. Is that also cobalt? The fuck? Yeah, it is. No wonder. No wonder. Okay, I need some Prussian blue. Pruski blue. I need Pruski blue. We have some Prussian blue. Green blue. Blueberry blue. I call it blueberry blueberry blue. Prussian blue. It's so green. It's extremely green. White. See now what happens? It becomes greener. And it has to have some green up here. Yeah, it became a little bit greener now. And it's nice to mix actually when you paint in some Prussian blue over cobalt. The cobalt is kind of reddish, and of course the Prussian blue is greenish. So you get nice complementary contrast between these two colors. See, now it's better. It's better. And to think how many hours it will take me to go over this. It's very difficult to get these colors right because you have to have the right amount of white in them. And yeah, if anybody have any painting questions, please ask. No super chats needed. Yet, anyway, if I ever get a lot of people in here at some point, maybe I need to change that rule, but for now, every stream is, every question is free of charge. It's also quite important that people comment or give a thumbs up because YouTube is measuring your channel compared to likes. It's, you know, so it's not easy. I think this became a little bit better. Now I need to do something with this cloud. And it's you can't just pour in a lot of white. It has to have all kinds of colors in it. I just have to figure out where to put them. Right now I'm kind of out of time when it comes to this painting. It has to be delivered on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday? When? No, yeah, Monday, Tuesday. It's called Tuesday in Norway. Tirsdag. Hello, Mr. 11. Please, thumbs up. Yeah, stuff. Anyway, so I'm just doing the last touch up of this painting today. Try to make the cloud a little bit more natural, make it kind of glide into the background, which is very important so it doesn't just seem like I'm just thrown on, somebody have just thrown clask on the canvas as if somebody, yeah, took a lump of paint and just threw it right up to it. I need some more clear white here. We had a discussion or conversation about flake white yesterday, and I thought that flake white didn't really have somebody like that comment. It's nice. But they don't make flake white anymore with lead in it. So I don't see any point in using lead whites or flake whites when it's not real flake whites. So what I'm going to do here now is just basically stand here for hours on end, trying to make this into a woolly thing with more natural transitions between the clouds and background. So it doesn't look like a shablon, as we call it in Norway. Somebody stuck it on the surface. Because I've painted very thick colors in places, so it can actually have that effect. It becomes very, very dominant. But even out these transitions, you will get more, and also use this in the foreground here. You see here, it's kind of darker. And we'll also explain cloud there. Now you see it just popping out. It's a bad camera, so it's maybe hard to see. I was asked today about, I was going to watch a video. One of my patrons asked me, sent me a video, and this guy was talking about how colors get dirtied up. And he was mixing some colors that, he had one primary color, or some, maybe it was some kind of cobalt deep something, but he mixed it with a lot of already mixed colors, and talked about, I don't even really know what he meant. If you, well, I even don't really know what he was onto. He said if you put too many colors on the surface, they get dirtied up, or yeah, yes. He didn't say it that way. What you shouldn't do, when I want a shadow to that light, where this has yellow, it has reddish in it, this has maybe some orange, some red. The shadow is basically in the blue and violet. So what I have in that shadow is basically reddish and blue. And then if I want it to become a little bit grayer somewhere, a little bit greener, I just add in some yellow in between. If I want some yellow in here, I may paint this thing, but then I just go in and I basically put in some yellows in between here. Now that became quite green, of course, so I can actually go on top of that again and put in some more blue or something in it. But if I mix too many colors, now that became dirtied up actually, because it was one color too much. I think you should never, if you want that, if you want the shadow to green, you have to add a little bit of green to a primary red. 1/3 of green in the primary red. Then you break it down to the shadow color. And you can do that with a whole color circle. But if you have dirty colors, like the first time I saw my girl Amalia's palette, she had a lot of colors that she even didn't know why she had them there. and it just creates chaos. So let your palette be basically the color circle, and try to mix as many other colors from the color circle in the way that nature does. And you will actually avoid dirty colors. Never more than 3 colors at the same time. No. Make it live a little bit. The shadow here is basically a deeper violet color. And I will just do many nuances of that. Somewhere you might have, and here the alizarin comes in into use, because it breaks down the blue and make it more violet. So I want the cloud to kind of come through here. So what do I do then? Well, I take some orange, I take some too much color. The nuances here in the color spectrum is very close to one another. So if you take too much primary color, it becomes very easily too much. So you have to be very careful. See here, it just pops up. There's too much orange. And push it down again with the alizarin and the blue. Try to subdue it like this. That actually worked. And then I can bring it back up again. With a little bit more of it, if you can see. It's really not easy, this shit, especially when I'm talking, because when I'm not streaming, I'm just painting, and my brain does this magic. But when I am in the conscious, my choices becomes less intuitive and way more chosen or conscious, and then it's more easy to go wrong. Actually, when it comes to this, it will be like, you know, in Star Wars when Luke is flying towards the hole in the Death Star, which is yeah, that's fun. You know, why the hell did I make this exhaust thing? You know, the only weak point. Anyway, yeah, now it actually started working. Anyway, sometimes it's good to just go with intuition. So, that was a strange digression. Hello, somebody. Who's that? Another person online. Okay, hi, there you again. Find our words this week. Here I am. Hello. Feel free to ask questions if you like. I'll try to answer some of them. I'm not going to stream for so long, but it's the last stream I do on this painting. And yeah, for now anyway, I don't think it might be sold or something, so I probably never get the chance to do more on it after I have delivered it. Or maybe I do. Maybe I do. Now, the clouds here are quite yellow. so many things. I need a better pencil. A flat pencil. Okay. I need flat brushwork here. It's very helpful actually with these white colors here, because I don't need to, do all the mixing myself. Oh, maggots. Another cloud is coming through here. Okay, goes down here. Somebody asked me if I could, in my tutorials, if I could add in the photo I'm working from in the videos. I think I'm going to try to do that, so people have a reference point when they see me paint. They also asked me if I could add in my palette at the same time, but I mean, okay, start paying me. I have 2 cameras at the same time and do all that work for basically nothing. That's a lot of work. So yeah, that was nice. This goes very deep into darkness, so let's disappear. So it goes very deep. It is the kind of thing you can just keep banging on with forever. There's always something more you can do. I'm glad I'm quite manic, because I can have the patience to just hang around, do the work. You see, I kind of use the pencil now as a charcoal. If you picture this as charcoal, and then I go back and forth with it. And just add more and more. Maybe some clean color, and then I do some red or something on top of it again, and go back and forth, back and forth. So, yeah. Ask me something. Remember the thumbs up, people. Okay, underneath here, then this one is very dark, this one's quite dark. First I just push it down, and now I'll bring it back up after the fact. With a bigger pencil here, I think. This one. It's the same. It's the same colors over and over and over again, just different hues. So in here is a lot more reddish actually. So just pour it in here. And I'll bring it back up afterwards. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Yeah, you can. After I've been doing the stream, I'm going to put on some music, drink a lot of coffee, drink a lot of water, and just dance through the night. That is what is so amazing with doing this work, is that you really, when you really connect, it's like I'm in heaven. It's so beautiful. Any questions? Hello. Mr. Lenny Yankovia. Hello. Once I had a job working with Acton and stand like that. Well, acetone? Acetone, isn't that quite dangerous? Acetone, yes, quite dangerous. Well, I like to stand working because I think it becomes a little bit more dynamic. Of course, I have problems with one of my hips. I need a hip revision. I have 2 artificial hips, so I need one revision because it loosened from my leg or from my bone because of overtraining. It's quite funny. I killed first 1 hip and then I killed 2 hips with training, and then I also destroyed the prosthesis. And that's ADHD for you. But I do prefer standing anyway, because it's more dynamic. Ah, or in printing. Ah, okay. Print was cool. Didn't know that. Acetone. Let me see. Gray. You know, gray doesn't exist. Somebody say gray, ask them what? Ask them what do you mean gray? What do you mean? I mean gray. What do you mean? Do you mean gray like bluish gray, or do you mean reddish gray, or do you mean, what do you mean? People just don't understand. They don't get it. You know. Gray isn't a color. Gray is not. It's basically, I don't even know what people mean when they say gray. I only see, the reason I started talking about that because I saw some gray. Well, the thing that people think are gray, which is actually blue and some reds and some yellows mixed together in the right mixture. So yeah. So now it's almost like today I have to do the whole thing over again. I have to basically go over the whole cloud and break everything down and basically build it up again. And now it kind of looks a little bit weird because when I do like this, I just push everything down and I bring it back up again. That is basically the way to do it. Just bring it back up. That is why I basically mix the colors on the canvas. I wouldn't be able to, I couldn't see. It's easier for me to see. But you have to have some knowledge about colors, of course, to do it. You have to know approximately what will happen. But anyway, my mixing palette is the surface I'm painting on. So, I can't really be totally sure how a color will be when I put it on the surface. And I also need, when this is a cloud, it can't really have any sharpness to it. It has to be very loose, cotton-like. Yeah, cotton too, you know. Look at cotton. That is why they say clouds are like cotton. Cotton basically grows in the same way as clouds do. It's also because of the laws of nature. When you look at rivers from space, they look like veins in our bodies. It's really amazing how nature is. So I was talking about earlier, I think it was in the video I made, how this infinite universe have created, or have created is just the wrong word, because it's probably not created, just is, has created, I said it again, okay, whatever, has created, or have laws, mathematical laws, that make elements through blowing up stars of gas, creates atoms from quantum physics, basically scratch, to create brains that after 4 billion years and over 13 billion years of evolution can stand here and talk about it and paint the mathematics of the universe and talk about it. And this is what the universe did with 13.8 billion years. They made a computer, biological computer, capable of seeing itself and standing here in the middle of the night babbling about the laws that created it. Now, if that isn't amazing, I don't know what is. If that is not enough for you, you're a moron. Mixing ink color can be found on charts. Mixing ink color can be found on a chart. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the primary colors is the primary colors. It is the pigment that is different, probably. Amalia has gone to sleep, so I can't ask her. You can Google it, actually. I will believe that. I think many of the paints you buy in the store and stuff for just painting walls are often cheaper pigment, of course. Maybe it's synthetic, maybe it's acrylic, and that is basically plastic with some pigment in it. But the cadmium, the yellows, the blue, the cobalt and stuff, that has to come from basically cobalt. That is what is called cobalt blue. So it doesn't really matter what kind of paint it is, as long as the pigment used to make the paint is the same. Of course you have synthetic colors, which basically looks like real colors. And of course it's the light that also creates the colors. Without light you don't have any color, so what is color anyway? Because it's just a result of light. That is why the colors in the nature changes during the day. And yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean. I've noticed that when I print, uh, on the same, I don't know. It's not the same, you know, if you buy a oil paint, it's a certain thing made by companies made for painting, and other types of paint is probably differently made, I don't know. Created ridiculous, pointless, it's good points. Renoir, well, peanuts are too thick. I didn't get that sentence. Created, ridiculous, pointless, I guess you're right. Had its good points. Renoir, and then, well, and some. Could you elaborate a little bit? It's a little bit. Where are you from? You are cutting up the sentences a lot, and I'm dyslexic, so you know, I'm not a reader. I'm a listener. So yeah, but your English is kind of a little bit weird. Sorry to say so. I don't mean I'm Norwegian. I have no idea how I sound. So if you can elaborate a little bit on what you're writing there, I can engage. You know, what I do here, I almost think when I paint like this, I often think like I do charcoal drawing, crisscrossing like this, and trying to follow directions even of the cloud. If there's some new people in here, remember to do a thumbs up. It's really important. Impressive. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, somebody has to do it. It's what I call painting for me. It's like I know that life is probably pointless and meaningless and everything, and soon I'm gone and everything is just basically vanity, weird and strange. But it's doing some creative work while you exist and having something to do is very good, because you don't have to think about, or you have something to do while you wait. I always think about death row. They talk about death row. Everybody's on death row. It's just a question of time. It's strange to meet someone outside of the European Union. Oh yeah, we are not in the European Union actually. I mean, they are so paralyzed, and they can't even get together and do something real for Ukraine. And then you have Mr. Trump, which I was a supporter of for many, many years, which has totally disappointed me. And now even America isn't doing their job. So America, I can't actually say America because it's not the people's. Well, they chose him. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing that Norway isn't in the EU. One of the reasons is we have a hell of a lot of oil. And if we went into the EU, we basically had to start sharing with the EU. So that was a good choice not to go into the EU just because of that. So now, how is these clouds coming on? Anyone? You know, if you want to support my work, there's always a super chat button or buy me a coffee or something. It would be nice. And if you have some painting questions, please ask, feel free. I'm gonna start on many paintings actually. The next 14 days is gonna be crazy because I'm gonna basically make a few landscapes and figure painting. It's so annoying. I always waste a lot of time when I have time and suddenly I'm out of time. Ugh, it's the story of my life. I wish I could have been finished with this long before. But I never do. It's almost like I'm an extreme procrastinator. Is that it? You know, I'm gonna finish a painting and I wind up making a YouTube video or a couple of shorts instead, or watch some stupid movie or more news from Ukraine or whatever. Anything. And it's so silly. Putting some Where are you from, Lenny? Janov. Well, just keep on doing it. The most important with brushwork is to understand that painting is actually about the brushwork. It isn't about the motif or anything. You just look at the brushwork of masters, and these things goes quite automatic for me now. But I remember when I was like almost back to when I went to art school, I was actually standing working on a double self-portrait, a huge one. I couldn't possibly have finished it because I didn't have the skill, but I had this white, and I just painted and painted and painted and just learn from my mistakes, which I basically always did, until I actually started to see the value of brushwork and understand what brushwork actually is and why it's so important. But I remember I was probably standing in the same spot for hours, trying to get a nose correct, and I couldn't get it right. And I had this beautiful white cat, and I took one step, and I have wooden shoes, a tresko, it's called in Norway. And I stepped one step back, and I stepped. The cat has fallen asleep under my legs, and I hadn't noticed, so I stepped on his toes, no, on his tail with these wooden shoes, and he screamed like crazy, and I jumped like a madman. And so yeah, you know, as you evolve as a painter, your brushwork becomes easier because you kind of know it intuitively. I call it looking into being more and more able to look into the future. It's basically how you actually can, if you do like me, I did so many wrong things that in the end I wound up in jail, okay? It's like I didn't do anything that was kind of bad in any big sense, but all my stupid habits and addictions and stuff made me stay in prison for a year. And it's the same thing with painting. Kind of, okay, you won't wind up in prison, but okay, that was kind of digression. I digress. If you keep on doing the wrong things over and over again, you will lead to something bad. That is just written into the laws of nature. If you keep on doing brushwork over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you have at least a little bit open mind, and you are a little bit self-critical, you will become good, at least compared to average. If you compare yourself to the best painters in the world, like Rembrandt and stuff like that, of course you're probably never gonna be able to reach that level of precision. But the point is that you can try, and while trying, you can enjoy it. And I used not to be good with my brush. And there's a video on my YouTube channel where I show my old works. If you go check that out, you can actually see if I can find it for you. You can see how ridiculously bad I painted or did in the beginning. And that is why I always say talent is just bullshit. It doesn't exist. What exists is the willingness to do the work. That is what you have to do. Be willing to just sit it all out, you know. And you see if I can find that video and post it. Where are you, video? Where are you? Are we going too far now? Probably. Yeah. I can't find you. It can't be down here. It must be higher up. There's a video called My Old Works or something. I show all my old works. And there also one video where I talk about what is talent anyway. Yeah, there it is. Artists and my old works. Yeah. So I actually am in my studio in my hometown. I'm gonna post that video here, so you can check it out after this or now or whatever. So I'm more for complementing making structural. Salt, floor and glaze. Bread making. Okay. Complementing bread making. Sculpting dough of okay. Anyway, but you know, if you look at that video I posted, you will see that anyone with a willingness to just keep banging on will at least get better. But I have actually seen a couple of people in my life who is actually not getting better. There's a woman, she is just not getting better. Well, I think there's a reason for it. She has a lot of trauma, and I think she has probably developed a little bit, maybe even narcissistic personality disorder. So she's just closed down. She can't be self-critical, and that's why she's not learning. She can't look at her own work in a negative way because she collapses. And she's not. I've been known her since 2007, and she haven't evolved as a painter a single day. And it is just amazing that it's possible. I'm not going to mention any names here because it's not. She had never done anything to me, but she just can't get better. And she is basically, if you look at some of the self-portrait I showed there, the first ones, she basically are doing that today after, and I did that for basically 1 year until I got better and saw, and got better. But she doesn't get better because she's not open, emotionally open. So just doing it without the necessary self-criticism will stop you in becoming better. Because at some point we are talking about being able to honesty and emotional openness, self-criticism. I've been even too self-critic. I've been self-deprecating and self-destructive. And that is because I had some scars from childhood and stuff, and some bullying, and always felt strange. Maybe I even have a little bit of some kind of Asperger tendencies. I do have ADHD and hypomania. I have papers on that, so and that is, I just take my hypomania and just pour it into my paintings or in training and stuff. So I went to jail because I made replica guns, blank guns into shootable guns, but the scale of my hobby just took totally off, and in the end I had like 80 counts of breaking the gun law some way. So yeah, but I'm not a criminal. I didn't going to use it for anything bad. I just wondered, can I make this work? Can I make this work? And I got manic, and I got really good at it actually. The police told me that were quite impressed what I've done with some 9mm replica guns. So stick to my painting. It might be a good idea. Yeah. I do think, how long has this been going on now? so many people in here now anyway. 70 minutes, okay. Maybe that's enough for tonight. If somebody's watching now, you can, of course, ask a question before I leave you, because I need to start really focusing deeply, and then I need to put on some music. And flow. I see this is actually getting better now. Already there. Yeah, it's getting better. It's a weird cloud. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. Any questions? Remember, everything is primary colors, even in the gray, which isn't gray, which I was talking about. You know, if you have violet here, you will have yellow somewhere. If you have red, you will have green. If you have, you know, and you blue, you have orange. It's like, you can just, if you see a color, you can guarantee that you will find the complementary color or the shadow color, which is a mix of all three of them, somewhere around. So I guarantee that. So if you have that as a good way to understand color, you're on your way. Okay. If somebody new is here, remember the thumbs up. It's very important. Just trying to shape this cloud today, and it's the last thing I will do with this painting for now. Today is the last touch-up, and then I just have to move on to another. I tried to create a very thick, very thick color, never dries, and then I just have very thin colors around it. That way you get this sculptural dimension to it. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so there's no questions. I will just close down for today. So if you have any questions, you have to ask me now, or I'll see you next time. Whew. Yep. See now. Let me see here. I'll show you a close-up of the close-up of the colors here. Quite, you see how much yellow and bluish, and it's quite, it kind of enhances the light here. I don't know why, but see, this is just the beginning. And then I see here, yellow, reddish, more yellow, thick in the colors. See how thick it is? And then I keep it all the way down here. So not much at all. And this is basically how I do the whole thing. Also yesterday I did this. I think it came pretty nice. You know, my phone is reading the colors so wrongly. But anyway, that's how it is. So, maybe I just go on the computer here now. This is my studio. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. And if you see it in hindsight, remember to give a thumbs up, leave a comment, check out my Patreon if you like, and yeah, ask me questions if you like. So, hope to see you in my next stream, and have a good one. Yay. Am I sure I want to... It's like when you're gonna press the button and kill yourself, it's just, are you sure you're going to? Are you really sure you're going to? Yes, I'm sure. Bye-bye.